So students, today we will discuss about thermochemistry and various type of enthalpy of reactions which we generally use in thermochemistry. So all of you know what is thermochemistry. Thermo, there are two words in this. Thermo means its energy, heat. Chemistry means chemical reactions. It means when we talk about energy change, heat change, temperature change taking place during chemical reaction, that this branch of chemistry is called thermochemistry. And what is enthalpy of reaction? Enthalpy of reaction is the heat change taking place in chemical reaction. Now this enthalpy of reaction can be represented by different methods. For example, if I am writing enthalpy, all of you know that it is denoted by capital H. Enthalpy is capital H. If we talk about enthalpy change or change in enthalpy, then it will be delta H. And if we write standard enthalpy change, standard enthalpy change, then it is denoted by delta H naught, or it's written sometime as delta H like this, delta H naught. So what is the difference between enthalpy change and standard enthalpy change, students? Standard enthalpy change means we are talking about some standard conditions. What are the standard conditions in thermochemistry? Temperature, standard we have to take 298 Kelvin. Pressure, standard we have to take 1 bar pressure. And very important thing, that reactant, they must be in their pure state and in standard state. For example, standard state of carbon is graphite, although it possesses diamond and fullerene structure also. Standard state of O2 gas is, O2 is in the form of gaseous state. So whenever we carry out reactions in standard state, then it will be standard enthalpy change. For example, if I am writing C plus O2 is equal to CO2, and suppose 200 kiljoule of heat is released here, then enthalpy change of this reaction will be minus 200 kilojoule. It is exothermic reaction because heat is given out here. So enthalpy change will be minus 200 kilojoule. And if we carry out this reaction in this standard state, this temperature, pressure and pure state of reactant, carbon we take graphite, O2 we take O2 gaseous state, then it will be standard enthalpy change of this reaction, delta H naught. Although value will remain same, but here we will call it standard enthalpy change if standard state are there, otherwise it is normal enthalpy change. So I hope now this part is clear to all of you. What is enthalpy, what is enthalpy change, and how enthalpy change differs from standard enthalpy change. Now there are various type of enthalpy change which we talk in this chapter. So I will discuss one by one about this enthalpy change because sometimes there is confusion in their definitions. So first of all, we will discuss, students, what is standard enthalpy of formation. Standard enthalpy of formation, as we discussed, it is denoted by delta H naught, means standard enthalpy change. If it is formation, then we can write here small f. So what is standard enthalpy of formation? It is the enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of compound forms when 1 mole of compound forms. And if we are saying standard state, it means temperature is 298 Kelvin, pressure is 1 bar, and reactants are present in their standard state. For example, if we write carbon, graphite is the standard state of carbon, plus O2 gas, then it gives us CO2 gas, plus it will be suppose 200 kilojoule. Now here standard enthalpy of formation will be minus 200 kilojoule. And always you have to be very careful that whenever we define any term, then we have to use this 1 mole. So it means when 1 mole CO2 forms, then 200 kilojoule of heat is released. Now suppose if I take the example here, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas, it is forming ammonia gas, and enthalpy change is 600 kilojoule, and this reaction is taking place in standard state. Now in this case, students, standard enthalpy change of reaction, it will be minus 600 kilojoule, but in this case standard enthalpy of formation will be minus 300 kilojoule, because in this reaction 2 mole of ammonia is forming, and standard enthalpy of formation is always defined for 1 mole. So if there are 2 mole, then whatever heat is released, you can divide by 2. If there are 4 mole, then you can divide by 4. So here standard enthalpy of formation is minus 300 kilojoule. I hope this part is clear to all of you. What care you have to take whenever you talk about any enthalpy of formation in standard state, then your statement must include the standard state and 1 mole. Otherwise it is wrong statement. Now we will discuss some terms one by one. Suppose we need to define a standard enthalpy change of fusion. A standard enthalpy change of fusion. A standard enthalpy change of vaporization. A standard enthalpy change of sublimation. Okay, these three we want to define. Now how we will write it? Fusion means, students, solid is changing into liquid. Vaporization means liquid is changing into vapor. Sublimation means solid is directly changing into vapor. So now you know how to write the statement. Fusion statement will be enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of solid convert into liquid at its melting point. What is the temperature at which solid convert into liquid? Melting point. So I think you can easily write it. Enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of solid convert into liquid at its melting point. This you have to write here. Similarly, vaporization, it is the enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of liquid converts into vapor at its boiling point, because vaporization takes place at its boiling point. Similarly, what is delta sublimation, students? It is the enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of solid convert into vapors below its melting point, because in this case it's not converting into liquid, it is converting directly from solid state to vapor state. So here we have to write at the end below its melting point. I hope these definitions are clear to you. Now we will discuss what is standard enthalpy of combustion. Standard enthalpy change of combustion. Again we can define enthalpy change in standard state when 1 mole of fuel, here we have to write when 1 mole of fuel undergoes combustion in excess of air. 1 mole of fuel in undergoes combustion in excess of air. So 1 mole word always we need to write. Now what is the significance of 1 mole? Why we are writing again and again 1 mole? Suppose there is statement that heat of combustion of methane is 100 kilojoule. Now this statement is not valid statement, because this statement says that heat of combustion of methane is 100 kilojoule, but we don't know how much methane we have taken. So if we write here 100 kilojoule per mole, it means when 1 mole of methane undergoes combustion, reaction will be like this. Oxygen will be 4. So 1 mole of methane means 16 gram methane. So if we are writing here mole, it means we know that if we take 1 mole of methane, then we are getting this much heat. Or you can find out calorific value also. 1 mole of methane is 16 gram. From 16 gram methane we are getting 100 kilojoule. Then from 1 gram methane how much we will get? That will be our calorific value. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Now one very important definition we will discuss. That is enthalpy change of transition. What is this enthalpy change of transition, students? Transition means, suppose we have carbon. There are different allotropic form of carbon. It can be graphite, it can be diamond, all you have studied in class 10th, or it can be fullerene. So if carbon is present in the form of graphite allotrope and we want to convert it into diamond allotrope, then this will be change of transition. So what is enthalpy change of transition? It is the enthalpy change in standard state, if we have taken standard condition, when 1 mole of carbon changes from one allotropic form to another allotropic form. So this is enthalpy change of transition. Now students will discuss what is enthalpy change of hydration. Enthalpy change of hydration. All of you know what is hydration. We have this copper sulfate. This copper sulfate is anhydrous. If we write copper sulfate dot H2O, it will be partially hydrated. If we write copper sulfate dot 5H2O, it means it is hydrated copper sulfate. Okay. So now what happens? If we dissolve this copper sulfate in water, or this copper sulfate, partially hydrated copper sulfate in water, then it will get converted into, both of these will get converted into copper sulfate dot 5H2O. Now you can understand the meaning of this heading. Enthalpy change of hydration. It is the enthalpy change when 1 mole of anhydrous substance or partially hydrated compound changes into its hydrated salt. So this is called enthalpy change of hydration. Now next we will discuss enthalpy change of neutralization. Enthalpy change of neutralization. Here you have to be very careful. we will never use the word 1 mole here. What is neutralization, students? Neutralization means we are taking some acid, reacting it with base, and we will get salt and water, and some heat will be released here. Okay, so it is enthalpy of change of neutralization. But if you want to define it, then you can't say it is the enthalpy change when 1 mole of acid is neutralized by 1 mole of base. Then it will be wrong statement. Why it is wrong statement here? Because if we take acid HCl and base NaOH, then we can say 1 mole of HCl neutralizes 1 mole of NaOH. But if you take here H2SO4, students, and here we take NaOH, then what happens? You have to take 2 mole of NaOH. Then your reaction will be Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. So it means in case of H2SO4, we need 2 NaOH. So acid is 1 mole, but NaOH is 2 mole. So therefore, in such cases, always we have to use the word gram equivalent. You might have studied my another video of gram equivalent, normality, etc. There I explained in detail. So whenever you define enthalpy change of neutralization, then don't say 1 mole. You have to say it is the enthalpy change when 1 gram equivalent of acid is neutralized by 1 gram equivalent of base. And here I will tell you some 2-3 very important thing here. If you take a strong acid with a strong base, then delta H released will be more. But if you take weak acid, a strong base, or a strong acid and weak base, then this delta H will be less. Why this delta H is less here in this case, students? In case of strong acid with strong base, I can write the value also, it's always fixed. It's minus 13.7 kilocalorie if you take strong acid and strong base. But if your acid is weak or base is weak, then this delta H is less than minus 13.7. Why, students? Because some heat is utilized to ionize weak acid or weak base. Suppose if we take the example of acetic acid neutralized by NaOH, then we will get CH3COONa plus water. Now what happens here? We have 1 gram equivalent of acid, 1 gram equivalent of base, but this acid is weak acid. So first we have to ionize it. So whatever heat is released here, some heat is utilized to ionize the weak acid. So therefore we say that here delta H is less. So related with this, they can ask you the question that for this reaction, delta H is 12 kilocalorie per mole. Kilocalorie per mole. Then what is the heat of ionization of acetic acid? Now if you know this concept that strong acid and strong base, in this case heat released is minus 13.7 kilocalorie per mole, and if here we are getting heat, of course it will be negative only, minus 12 kilocalorie per mole, then what is the difference here, students? It is 1.7 kilocalorie. So 1.7 kilocalorie heat is utilized to ionize this. So heat of ionization or enthalpy of ionization of acetic acid will be 13.7 minus 12 is equal to 1.7 kilocalorie. So this much heat is utilized to ionize the weak acid. So always remember, if you have strong acid and strong base, heat released is more. If any of these two, that is acid is weak or base is weak, then heat released will be less, and whatever difference comes, that will be taken as heat of ionization of weak acid or weak base. I hope this part is clear to you. Now we will discuss another type of heat of reactions which we use in this chapter. It is lattice energy, students. We will discuss lattice energy. We have to do numericals also related with lattice energy. So what is lattice energy, students? Suppose we want to discuss formation of NaCl. Then we have sodium ion in gaseous state, Cl ion in gaseous state. Then we are getting NaCl solid. And whatever energy is released here, this energy is called lattice energy. Now how we can define it? It is the energy released. What is lattice energy? It is the energy released when 1 mole of ionic compound forms from its constituent ions in gaseous state. So this is lattice energy. Why it is called lattice energy? Because when these ions combine together, there will be strong electrostatic force of attraction and crystal will form, lattice will form, and due to this attractive force of ions, energy is released and crystal is forming. Crystal means lattice is forming, therefore this energy is called lattice energy. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Now we will discuss, students, what is enthalpy of atomization. All of you know what we mean by atomization, students. Enthalpy of atomization, we'll discuss bond dissociation, enthalpy. There is very slightly difference between these terms, or bond energy, average bond energy. These are resembling terms. What is enthalpy of atomization, students? If we have sodium metal in solid state, we provide heat, then it will convert into gaseous state. Similarly, if we have H2 gaseous state, if we provide heat, then it will convert into hydrogen in gaseous state. So I think you can understand what is enthalpy of atomization. It is the heat required when 1 mole of compound or element changes from in its gaseous state. So, and you have to be careful here that this energy is also called delta H sublimation. In case of elements, in this case it will not be delta H sublimation because it is present already in gaseous state. But in case of elements are always found in solid state, then and sodium solid is converting into sodium gas. So here it will be enthalpy of atomization as well as it will be delta H of sublimation. Now what is bond dissociation enthalpy? This term you have to use in case of diatomic molecules. In case of diatomic molecules, if we have Cl2, we provide energy, then it will convert to Cl. Similarly in this case also. So in case of diatomic molecule, the energy needed to dissociate the bond present between atom is called bond dissociation enthalpy, and this also you can say enthalpy of atomization because from molecule we are converting atoms. Now what is bond energy? If you take 1 mole of methane and convert it into carbon plus 4 hydrogen, It means we are breaking all the 4 bonds here, like this. So this energy is called bond energy. It means energy needed to dissociate 1 mole bond into its constituent atoms. This energy is called bond energy. Now students, what is average bond energy? This we will discuss. What is average bond energy? And how it differs from other type of energy. Average bond energy consider these molecules H2O, ammonia and methane. The similarity in these 3 molecules is that number 1, these are polyatomic. Number 2, more than 1 bond of same type. They have more than 1 bond of similar type. For example, in this case, we have 2 OH bonds similar. In this case, we have 3 NH bonds similar. Here we have 4 CH bond similar. Now what happens, student, here? If someone asks what is the bond energy of OH bond in water, NH bond in ammonia, or CH bond in methane, then what happens here? If you want to break this bond, first bond, suppose energy is needed Q1, then second bond Q2, then here Q3, and here it is Q4. Then these Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are different. What we can call them? We can call them successive bond enthalpy. Successive bond dissociation enthalpy are different. So in such cases, how you can find out the CH bond energy? CH bond energy can be calculated by taking the average of these 4. Now how we can define this average bond energy? In case of polyatomic molecule having more than 1 bond of similar type, the successive bond energies are different. Therefore, we represent it as average bond energy. Similarly, in case of ammonia, we have 3 NH bond. If this energy is Q1, Q2, Q3, then average bond energy of NH will be Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 divided by 3. I hope now you are able to differentiate between enthalpy of atomization, bond dissociation enthalpy, bond energy, and average bond energy. Now last we will discuss, students, what is enthalpy of solution. Solution means we are talking that we have some solute, we are dissolving in solvent, usually water then we are getting aqueous solution. For example, if we take NaCl solid dissolved in water, aqueous, then we are getting Na ion aqueous plus Cl negative aqueous. Now how we can define it? Enthalpy of solution. It is the enthalpy change. Again you have to say 1 mole. It is the enthalpy change when 1 mole of solute is dissolved in sufficient quantity of water to form its aqueous solution. And if we go in detail, students, then what happens? Whenever you dissolve any ionic compound, then there are 2 parts here we have to study. First thing is that NaCl will convert into Na ion and Cl ion. It will be lattice energy because we are dissociating this into ionic form. Now these ions they will combine with water and we will get Na ion aqueous and Cl negative will dissolve in water and we will get Cl negative aqueous. Now here we have to supply the energy in this process because NaCl we are dissociating. So this process will be delta H positive and in this case energy is released, so this will be delta H negative. So this energy which we need to supply to dissociate this 1 mole of ionic compound is called lattice enthalpy. This energy is lattice enthalpy and here energy is released. This energy is called enthalpy of hydration. So dissolution of ionic compound involves 2 steps. First of all, ionic compound will convert into ions and then these ions dissolve in water then they comes in the aqueous state. So I hope now these type of heat of reactions are clear to you. Now students, what we discussed in today's class, that H is enthalpy, delta H is enthalpy change, delta H naught is standard enthalpy change, and standard enthalpy change means standard temperature 298 Kelvin, standard pressure 1 bar pressure, and elements reactants in their most stable and standard state. Then we discussed various type of heat of reactions like standard enthalpy of formation, standard enthalpy of fusion, standard enthalpy of vaporization, standard enthalpy of sublimation, standard enthalpy of combustion, and we discuss various type of bond energies. It can be enthalpy of atomization, bond dissociation enthalpy, bond energy, and average bond energy. And very important thing we discussed, that whenever you want to define enthalpy of neutralization, then don't say 1 mole. You have to say that in case of neutralization, it is the energy released, it is the enthalpy change when 1 gram equivalent of acid is neutralized by 1 gram equivalent of base. And enthalpy of neutralization of strong acid and strong base is always more than if we have weak acid or weak base, because in case of weak acid or weak base, some heat is utilized to dissociate weak acid or weak base. Then we discussed enthalpy of solution, lattice energy, enthalpy of hydration. I hope now you can very well understand what is the difference between these various type of reactions, and this knowledge will help you while solving the numericals, and you also know in which case you have to take delta H negative and which case you have to take delta H positive. I hope you like my video. Then please share and subscribe. Thanks.